What up, world? It's your boy J Star back again with the final look of the week 4 slate here, man. We're gonna get into this as we always do. Breaking it down, looks like I don't have to really go over weather because it looks like all the weather is good for everybody. Looks like we got a lot of sunny days finally. For the end of this month, which is kind of crazy. We should have been had that, for all the games since it was still summertime. But anyways, that's good to know. Now, other than that, we got injuries, to report, which is very few. But it is the ones that are what I want to say is the ones that do have injuries is like good spots for good receivers and things like that. So we do got to go over all that. I tried to make the screen a little bit bigger so that way it's easier for people to see. So hopefully this works out for everybody. But we getting right into this one. It looks like the first game we got right here is the Bucks and the New Orleans Saints. I don't think Carr is going to play. I could have swore. I don't know why they got him questionable. See how Carr feels Saturday after return to practice Friday. Okay, so I guess we really won't know. Oh my God, till Saturday, which sucks. I mean, I'm just ready to just go ahead and plug in Jamie and just call it a day. But now I guess I won't be able to really do those lineups until we get that information. But from this game, man, either Carr or Jamie, at the end of the day, it's gonna be Chris Olave, man, and Rashid Shaheed, man. They're really in a good spot here. Also, I believe there's injuries to report here, so let me just check my notes real quick. Oh yeah, we have a cornerback out. What's it, Jamil Dean or something like that? He's out, and then what's his name has been questionable too, but I know he's probably gonna play. Carlton Davis, but he is questionable, so he's kind of banged up too. So you got one cornerback that's out. I believe lines up on the side where Shaheed lines up at too. So and then Carlton Davis. The best thing about Chris Olave is he moves in and out of the slot. These two have been killing against zone defenses. Yards and things like that have been pretty high, but you can't even also rule out Michael Thomas because he's right there next to getting good yards and stuff like that. So you can also toss in Michael Thomas. It's just that both of the quarterbacks, no matter which one it is that plays, like to throw deep, hit on those big plays, and the fact that Tampa Bay likes to blitz, which ends up giving up one-on-ones, to these type of receivers that I know that's trying to get, deep shots and things like that, which we already saw with A.J. Brown last week. So, the only thing I will say is the line is not as great as, the line that's protecting Hurts on the Eagles for, as you saw, Carr got sacked and everything like that. So the line over there is not really good in New Orleans, but they should be able to pick up some time, in that pocket, because it's also, I think that just the whole Bucks defense is banged up. Devin White also is, very questionable. I don't know if he's even going to play for sure. Vita Vea is questionable. Their whole line is really questionable. So I don't know how much pressure they, tend to get in this game, but it could lead to the fact that they like to blitz still, and they're one of the most heaviest blitz teams, so it just ends up giving up big shots deep down the field. And like I said, so far, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed has been those big shot, play hitters for the New Orleans Saints. So I would definitely stick to those. I'm really wondering why is Taysom Hill so expensive. I don't know if maybe they thought he might be the starting quarterback or something like that, because it's just kind of weird that he went up 4,500 here. It's not like the greatest spot. Tampa Bay giving up like tight end points and things like that hasn't been amazing or anything. But I mean, I guess they were thinking like if Jamie plays, I guess Taysom Hill might get used a little bit more or something like that. So, but I was more thinking, maybe Juwan Johnson, because he could go deep down the field and stuff like that. It might be a better game for him if Jamie was actually at quarterback, if that. But on the other side of this game, man, Mike Evans could be able to benefit because I know Lattimore usually shuts him down, but Lattimore usually doesn't travel with wide receivers. And the New Orleans Saints, Debo or something like that, cornerback that they have, he's still out. So, and they like to play man on the Saints, and so Evans, could get a good matchup on the other side of the field if, long as, like I said, Lattimore doesn't travel with him, he's going to have shots. He's been killing it, as y'all see. Like, the yards is crazy, like 300 yards, 3 games, really doing well, and it's got to be definitely Baker's favorite target so far. He's got a touchdown every game, too. So, definitely I would say, Evans would be in play because of the fact that, like I said, the cornerback is going to be out. Besides that, The matchup doesn't really go well for really anybody else there. It's more for, like I said, just Evans, if anything. If he can just, I know the kryptonite to him is freaking Lattimore. So besides that, I don't really see anything because the run is really not there. But they do like to throw to White, so I would say he's in play because of that. But that's about it. Let's move it on to the next game here. We got Miami and Buffalo. I know everybody's excited to watch this game at least, but this slate period, to me, I just want to say something just real quick. This slate is probably going to end up being a lower scoring slate because we have a lot of what I want to say rivalry matchups. Rivalry matchups tend to be, really bad for fantasy. I just gonna tell y'all just straight up because of the fact that most, rivalries, they know each other very well. They try to take away your best thing unless they just that trash at it. Like I would say, like the Packers last night. Like we just are not good right now against the run at all. Haven't been good for a while, anyways. But it's just our coaching and everything. So defensive coaching. So the Detroit Lions attacked that area, and was able to run on us very easily. Plus they have a very strong line, so that helped. But besides that, we was able to kind of slow down and take away St. Brown a little bit. At least he wasn't getting over 100 yards. But that's what I'm saying. Like the scoring is like, it changes a lot when you play rivalries. You might, like I said, unless they got a very bad weakness somewhere, then you're able to attack it, or cornerbacks being out, something like that, because like Jair was out last night, so it helped them to be able to attack down the field on the outside and stuff like that with Reynolds. But that's what I mean, like, but it usually makes the fantasy points come down, and we have a lot of these little rivalry games. This one right here, and there's other ones that just, and it's on, I want to say it's on like the best offenses and stuff like that, like where we've been able to, play these players and they've been hitting for us. So like this game in particular, you got Miami and Buffalo. I know both of the matchups they played last season were good games, but it really wasn't great games for like a Tyreek Hill, Tua. Josh Allen even struggled. So, like I know everybody wants to be in this game because we've been seeing so, much good stuff from Tua and things like that. But I'm just saying, like, when it's a rivalry and the defense are pretty good, they're going to probably take away, one of the best things. And what happens is it makes these teams like, have to go somewhere else, and it ends up being like a weird game is all I want to say. Because like, so from here, like, we got Josh Allen, of course, right? Like, they're playing Miami. Miami plays, let me see, I forgot. Let me just make sure. Believe they play a lot of man, or do they play a lot of zone now? Okay, so they're playing more zone now. It should be good for, what I want to say here, Diggs. Diggs is usually their zone person. He struggled last season, though, against this team. What is it? Xavier Howard was able to shut him down pretty much both of the time. So didn't really see much out of him. Like, I don't know, they double covered him too as well. And after, Diggs really, like, this team doesn't have like a legit slot receiver now. Like, at least last year they had McKenzie. They was able to go to McKenzie a lot. Shakir has not, taken that role. Also, they run a lot of 12. So since they run a lot of 12, it benefits more Kincaid and Knox. So if I had to go anywhere, it would be both of these tight ends, really, because I can't tell you which one for sure is going to, be the one that hits. They're using both of them, like a lot, and they're both getting like almost the same amount of targets. You go look at their targets. You talking about 254 here for Knox. You go to Kincaid. Let's get, come on now. Yeah. So you go to Kincaid, you're looking at 264. Like, come on now. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could just take either one of them and take a shot at. Hopefully, you get the one that, gets the touchdown. Or, they both just have a big game, pretty decent game at least. Maybe they both get to 12 points, something like that. So that's where I see them really going, because I just think Miami's going to really try to, stop them with Diggs, because they know that's their best weapon they got in a zone style defense. So I can see them doing that. Also, the run, you could take shots at James Cook. I could definitely see them using him. Him and, like I said, the tight ends is where I see them going the most, since they run a 12 personnel. They're always going to be set up for good run blocking with the double tight ends, and then also the tight ends getting open and getting good matchups with linebackers and maybe cornerbacks and stuff like that if they go small. So that would be the way I would run that game. But on the other side of the game, Tua, they run a lot of 21 over here, so they're always basically set up two backs or something like that in the, on the field, and one tight end, which the tight end is always usually in the block. So they're always basically set up to run very well, as we saw last week. So either one of these running backs can do good, as both of them did good in the same game. The best thing, though, is, last week it was a lot simpler just because of the fact Waddle wasn't there. So it was easy just to, they run 21, which means they only have 2 wide receivers. You got to think, last week they had Tyreek Hill and Barrios, or Tyreek Hill or Craig Craft, and he got hurt now. So it was obvious it was Hill, but now we go to Waddle being back into that. It's 2 wide receivers. They're going to throw them both the ball. The more, it's going to be more targets to Tyreek Hill. But like I said, we're playing a rivalry. So with a rivalry game, they're going to double Tyreek Hill as much as possible. I'm not going to say they're going to stop him. I also believe there might be an injury to report here. Let me check. Could have swore there was somebody out. Let me see. I guess not. So we don't have any injuries here. Okay, so it looks like Buffalo will be pretty much healthy there. Oh, no. My bad. I do know this already. The safety Poyer is out. So he's going to be out for this game. So I just think they're going to try to attack that middle of the field and make one of these receivers get deep down the field to test that safety that's coming in for Poyer. So that's going to be an issue. It looks like both of the times from what I saw, Waddle was able to get open on them and have a good game both of the times. So, I think it sucks for Buffalo because in rivalries, you want to study as much film on your rival team or divisional team. And all the film they got right now is for Tyreek Hill when it comes to receiver wise and the things that he might do. And then they got a little bit of film on the running backs, and what they would do with them. But they have really no film on Waddle. So, and they had a hard time last season stopping him. So I really feel like this is probably more of a Waddle game than, and any one of these running backs I think could also do pretty well as well. But we're going to move on from that game here. We got Minnesota, Carolina. I feel like this is a pretty good game here. Hopefully Bryce Young learned a lot, watching Dalton air it out, 55 or something like that. 58 attempts. Yeah, hopefully he was able to learn something. And I know maybe people won't be on Bryce Young because you got to think, though, he did play some really good teams. Both of these teams that he played to play like a man-style defense. The first game, he didn't even have Chark. So, I would feel like he probably needed somebody like a Chark, type of player for a man-style defense and not having him hurt him. Then they got him back. What is game 2 here, against another man-style defense, but, it's still very tough, man. Their line is really good on New Orleans, so you're not able to really establish any run against them. And then, like I said, the man-style defense they're playing, you need really good receivers that can get open on a man-style defense. He was able to get Thielen the ball, because Thielen's usually the person they went to for the Vikings when they played man over Jefferson. So he was able to do, pretty decent there. But it's like now finally, he missed out on having an easier matchup against Seattle style defense, which plays a lot of zone. But now he gets another chance at it. Coming back from his injury, he gets a chance at playing another, his first time really playing a zone style defense, heavy zone style defense. And we just saw both his receivers be able to hit against a heavy zone defense. So I don't see why he couldn't, long as he's able to throw more than what he was throwing, because like I told y'all, the attempts, I like this 38, close to 40. I feel like in this type of game, this style pace of game with the Minnesota, they play a lot of no huddle. So if they don't get the first down, it's just more opportunities in the Bryce Young. So he should be out there throwing the ball because he is playing an offense that's going to probably put up near 30 points. So I'm looking at, Chark, Thielen, being able to hit, besides that, it looks like Mingo is questionable, so I probably won't be, taking no shots there. If anything, Hurst is still in play, but maybe I would lean more to Sanders a little bit because his pass catching ability has been very high, and you probably will need to do something like this, a 9 target to 6 and 5 target area for him, to play good. Plus, I feel like they might get to the goal line a few times, so that can also help Sanders. On the other side of this game, though, definitely, Cousins, Jefferson, they're playing a zone style defense. So, and even Addison there. I'm glad he just got in there too as well. So even Addison, because the zone style defenses, Jefferson always usually kills it. And this team runs their offense through Jefferson, and then they go a little bit to Hockenson. So you can even toss in Hockenson in there, because if Jefferson's going to eat and do what he has to do, then it opens up the Addison and Hockenson. Okay, so that's where I would probably lean to. I'm probably not really thinking about Osborne this week. Also, though, You can also roll with Madison because we do know Carolina is bad. It's just that this team is such a heavy pass team. And if Madison makes any mistakes, they might give it off to Akers for a goal line, and he ends up stealing one of those touchdowns and probably ends up hitting for that 4,900. So, you are taking like a chance there because, like I said, this team and they're on the road, so it's probably less of the chance that they are rushing the ball as much. They really like to pass a lot here, but like I said, you could take a chance because this team is bad against the run. So maybe even with a low amount of attempts, you can still get something from these running backs. So then we moving on here. We got Denver and the Chicago Bears. This game right here has this is one of the games with the injuries to report. So Russell, of course, Javonte Williams, because of just how bad the Chicago Bears are against the run, got to toss him in there. But Russell's in for a really good game, man. I want to say, like, didn't he come off of his best game? I was shocked because I thought he threw at least 2 touchdowns in that game because I know Sutton hit, but I guess he only threw 1. Okay. He threw the attempts where we kind of looking for him to get to, near that 40, hit over 300 yards, got that bonus for you too. I didn't even realize that his last game was his best game. Okay. Before that one. Okay. But this could be another chance for him to have a really good game. I really feel like it's all going to be on how Chicago plays. Like, is Chicago going to come and force, Russell to have to score a lot? Because if they can actually put up some points here, then Russell is going to be probably in for a shootout, like a sneaky shootout right here. We're looking at injuries to report because Chicago plays a lot of zone style defense now, and it's looking like, where was Sutton at? Because I believe, who is out? Oh, I already know, my bad. Johnson is out for their lead cornerback is out for Chicago, and it's already bad because they was already giving up number 1 receivers anyways, and now you're telling me that their number 1 cornerback is going to be out, so they're in trouble, man. So I'm already definitely looking at Sutton. He's been getting, I think, the most yards so far against zone defenses, and then his Mims has been actually balling against zone style defenses. I know Judy just got back. He did pretty decent though his first game back and everything, so wouldn't shy away from him either. Let me just look. Yeah, he had a good 81 yards. So against zone 2. So like you can also try to mix and match this up. Stacking this up different ways. But since Judy is on the outside, I think Mims is playing in the slot. So the matchup where the cornerback is out at will be towards Sutton and Judy since they're on the outside. Mims is in that slot area, could also, though, because he's a deep threat, he can hit for 3,900 off of just like a one play. But yeah, definitely this Wilson, man, like I said, it's all on Chicago. What does Chicago bring, man? Because rushing the ball ability, of course, Fields is gonna be like one of the best plays, like a naked stack with him. Like, feel like you don't need nothing else, just Fields, because he probably rushes for 190 yards or something in this game. Roschon Johnson, I really like him. I think he, could hit. It's just off of, how many times on the RPO option does Fields run the ball and not hand it off to Roschon Johnson? Because if he ends up handing it off, I feel like then Roschon can have a really good game. Also, I feel like if somehow Chicago is winning this game, Roschon Johnson probably having a good game. Besides that, when it comes to passing and everything, I believe Denver is playing, let me check my notes here because I forgot if they're playing more zone or they playing more man this season. It looks like they are, what are they doing? Broncos. Okay, so they're playing more zone here. The Chicago Bears, man, the passing attack has just been trash. It's kind of, to me, more like this rush attack here is where they're probably going to benefit the most. If I had to say one of these receivers, though, is looking like, who is it looking like it's supposed to be? Because, okay, so it is DJ Moore. So DJ Moore has been benefiting the most against the zone. So if you want to stack like I said, you can run it just naked Fields and run some of those Bronco players in this and just naked Fields this week, because that's what it really feeling like to me. It's more the safest bet just because Fields just hasn't, been hitting with the receivers. Their offense is very stale. It doesn't look really good. Like the first week was really great. Came out passing near that 40, like I told y'all, but then he went back to playing like Fields. Like, I don't know what that's all about. Like, but it's not working, like I wish they would just stayed at that, him trying to pass at least. I think that would help a lot. And then rushing the ball like he always does and everything, it would help. But moving on from that game, We got Baltimore and Cleveland here. Looks like Deshaun Watson is questionable and everything. Shoulder is questionable Sunday's game. Hopefully he's able to go, because if he's able to go, we still got cornerbacks being out for what I want to say Baltimore. Humphrey is still out, so that benefits Cooper. They play a lot of man style defense over here. Cooper usually benefits in man. He's good in zone too as well, but man style defense he can really hit too. I think he just, let me look. Who did he just play again? Yeah, so he just played a man style defense, and you saw what the type of numbers he put up, and that was also with a touchdown that should have been a touchdown. They called him out of bounds for it, and it was definitely, his feet was not out of bounds. So now he gets another chance at playing a man style defense who he can hit against. So definitely I think Deshaun, Cooper. I thought maybe some linebackers might be out here too. Let me just check that one more time. Cooper. Where are you at here, man? Okay. So yeah, we got a linebacker out. So it's possible. I don't know why Njoku's targets have been so low. But it is possible he could finally do well. His price at least has dropped under the 4,000 range, which is perfect. Because now possibly he can hit. But his targets, I would like to see it be more at a 6 and 7 range. But so for right now, like I said, these two, I feel like it's a cool little skinny stack if you want to run. On the other side here, we got a lot of injuries for Lamar and a tough defense that he's playing against. Everybody's pretty much healthy now. So I feel like if it is somehow this is a run back or shootout, Andrews would have to freaking step up, and go off. He's probably going to go back to like almost nearly the regular offense that we used to see them play, where Andrews gets 12 targets. So, it's going to be hard to stop him with 12 targets, and his price has finally dropped really low, so this could be a good week to take him, but it is a tough defense. You can also take some shots at Zay Flowers, but I feel that Flowers has been playing better against zone rather than man, even though he has the speed to kill somebody in a man defense. So I know that the offense, like I said, is going to be heavily, and I think, he lines up in the slot, so he doesn't really have to match up with the two cornerbacks that are really good on the Cleveland Browns. So that also benefits him. So really, like, if somehow Andrews is doing well, I think Flowers could end up having a really good game because of that, because they play in that same area of the field and don't have to line up with the best cornerbacks on Cleveland Browns. But right now, so far, Lamar and that offense has been struggling. So I probably won't be having too many lineups with him in there because of that, though. Pittsburgh and Houston. In this game here, man. Pickett, I don't really see much happening from there. It's more in the run, like Najee or Jaylen Warren. I feel like should be good plays. I believe what I want to say. Let me make sure that, because Pickens, I just want to make sure. I think the cornerbacks was back. Yeah, everybody was healthy on Texas now. So that's what made me really start thinking like Pickett won't be having like the best game here. If you want to take some shots at Pickens, you can. Just that with the cornerbacks being back and everything like that, I don't really see them having an easy time throwing the ball. It's going to make it very, very hard for them, and it might actually be, if he is still out there trying to throw to Pickens and forcing throws, he might get a lot of picks in this game and make some turnovers. They need to really stick heavily on this run. So I would think one of these running backs should be able to hit. We know how Houston still is giving that up. On the other side here, though, if you want to take some shots at Stroud, I don't mind. I like Pierce a lot. Being the home back, what I like also is it's very hard for the running backs this week, but I like the consistency right here. Like he's one of the consistent ones we have under 6,000. They run a heavy stack personnel, so they're always in position to be able to run good. It's just that so far he's had bad matchups though. Like you talking about Baltimore's line is strong, linebackers is good too. Colts line is strong, linebackers is pretty decent. Jacksonville, it's been holding up pretty well. Like he was at least able to get his touchdown though in that game, but they've been doing pretty decent. But he got his first touchdown, so now I feel like this should be more of like the breakout game for him. Playing Pittsburgh, they tend to give up the run, giving up good points to the running backs. So it should be a good game. Like I said, this team plays a heavy personnel. Also, I feel like this is a game where they could be winning. So that's also beneficial for a home back and everything. Besides that, Nico Collins, I feel like is a good play. If you want to stack it with Stroud, you just want to put him by himself or Pierce and Collins. I think that could be a good little play. I'm not really feeling Tank Dell as much as I was last week. Just because I believe Pittsburgh plays a lot of man. Last week we had a zone style defense with the Jags, and I was easily able to see that, Dell was probably going to be that play. It's usually a lot easier for wide receivers when they're rookies too to play against zone style defense and have success than it is for them to have it against man style. And now they're going against a man style defense. I think it would probably benefits more like of a Nico Collins bounce back game, since everybody was on him last week and probably pissed off that he didn't hit for you. But it feels like this will be the type of game. Maybe Woods because his veteran experience too. If not, maybe some Schultz. Maybe he benefits from playing a man-style defense this week. Maybe he can beat the linebackers or something like that. But more in this area is where I would kind of stay at for that, for this side of the game. So then we move on. So we got the Rams and the Colts. Really like this game, especially since Anthony Richardson is going to play. We're going to put Anthony Richardson here. The way Zach Moss is getting mad, just workload, he's just going to have to be in play just because of that. It's the same thing kind of for Kyron Williams too. But on the other side here, we got Pittman. I believe Pittman is doing pretty good, or at least I know he's the number one option against zone style defense for them. So just check again. I could have swore I know they're going to him the most. Yeah, he's doing pretty good against zone style defenses. So it's Pittman at the moment. Really no other option yet, but we didn't get to see them with their starting quarterback, because if anybody I would say after that, I probably would lean to Downs at 3,500 here, and that would probably be about it. Probably would stay in this area here for stacking with Richardson. On the other side though here, definitely I like Stafford. If you want to take some shots at Kyron Williams, he had mad targets. The rain, and then some of it wasn't even rain, was just missing, man. Just dropping, and Stafford missing him a little bit. So it could be a bounce back game for him on the road. It might be down, so that at least you seeing that they're throwing to him, period. If they're down, up, it doesn't really matter, and we need those catches, at running back. It really helps us get those good fantasy points. Nakua is definitely going to be in play against a zone style defense, which is where he's been doing very well against. Atwell is going to be in play too as well, because they keep giving him, second option every game. And then Higbee is questionable, so what's going on with him? Achilles will practice Friday. Okay. Okay, great. But I probably wasn't even thinking about, taking too much of Higbee anyways. But yeah, Nakua, Atwell, Kyron Williams, I feel like are all good plays. I would kind of stay in this range here of plays for this side of the game. And then we move on to Washington and Philly. Yeah, Sam Howell played trash last week, but it was, bad weather. So, probably his first bad weather game to play into. So far, Philly, people have been able to attack them, in the past, but definitely at tight end. So good to see Logan Thomas is back. Don't really know how much is he going to do, because we got first game with 8 targets, but then right after that, we go to 3, got a touchdown at least. Philly has been, like I said, been able to attack their linebacker, so that's the best spot to go to, would be there. Besides that, I would say like a slot receiver, because going against Bradbury and then Slate, you probably want to stay away from them as much as possible, I would think. So Curtis Samuel should probably be a better play. Plus, I believe they play a lot of zone here too. This is Philly. Let me check that out again, because I could have swore they're playing. Yeah, they're playing heavy zone over there. So yeah, I think you would want to stay in this area anyways, attacking that like middle area, especially since their linebackers and stuff is where their weakest links are at, and some of their safeties too. So maybe getting deep down the field in the middle here will be where I would kind of stick to. If you want to take some shots at McLaurin or Dotson, you can. Just like I said, they just match up with like the harder cornerbacks and things like that on the outside. Besides that though, what do I want to say here for Hurts? Where Swift is just gonna be in play, it feels like every week, just because the line they have, and the what I want to say, they also are probably gonna get to the goal line multiple times. This team plays like a 11 personnel, but they like to run the most. So they're one of the only, I think, 11 personnel teams that I see that runs a lot still. So, and it's going to be holes for Swift, man. I just feel like every game, because of how good the line protects, and they want to run. They want to establish that run. It helps them set up the play action, deep plays to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith too. But in this game, since Washington tends to run a lot more man-style defense, I believe that benefits more AJ than Smith. If you want to take shots at Smith, you can, but AJ usually does really good against man-style defenses when they usually first reads go to him more. If you want to also take some shots at Goddard, you can, too. But like I said, I would more stay probably in the range of these three, really, for this game. And then let's keep it moving here. We got Cincinnati and Tennessee. So, Tannehill has been doing really bad. I don't think he has had any games, right? Am I tripping? Oh, he has one game, 21. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that Charger game. Yeah. So, this is a tough defense, man. I think maybe sneakily, Henry can break some big runs. Maybe they get to the goal line. He's, like I said, every week, Henry's going to be in play. Because of the fact this team wants to run the ball, if they can get up big or get up at all, then they're going to continue to run the ball a lot. He might, if they're able to be winning this game at all. And Cincinnati hasn't really looked that great. So it's not, impossible. Like, it's not like they've been killing it every week and scoring 30-something points. But so if they come out looking rocky, and Tennessee somehow always gives Burrow, some hard times and getting sacks and stuff on him because their line is usually strong. And Cincinnati's is not. So could possibly be a game where Henry breaks out and nobody wants him. I mean, his prices dropped from 78 to 74. Now we're at 7,000. If it's not this game, then it's definitely probably gonna be a game when he gets into the 6,000 range. Besides that, Hopkins possibly is gonna be in play just because of the fact his prices dropped. I believe it's dropped, right? Because he was a lot higher. Yeah, 69. Now he's dropped too. So you got a whole. Just a lot of people just dropped over here a lot. And they're playing a tough defense, but Hopkins might be in for a crazy amount of targets if somehow Tennessee, they are still at home. They're going to probably come out and fight, very hard. But if they're somehow able to have a lead or, be competitive, these three was definitely going to be the reason why. So I would stick to those plays there. Also, though, Okongwu is in play this week at tight end because that's where Cincinnati gives up. So, and this team literally plays through these three people. So, they're going to run. They're going to have, 12 personnel, so double tight ends. They're going to do the run and tight end and then open up, try to get Hopkins. So, if that would be the way I would play that, that side of the field. On the other side, though, if Burrow can just stay healthy, get some time in the pocket in this game, should be in for a big game for Higgins and Chase, man. Like they both should be able to do well. This team plays a lot of man. I don't see, one of these receivers definitely should hit, man, because T. Higgins definitely against man, they tend to try to go to him, as well as Chase, of course, a lot, but they also look for Higgins a lot when they play man-style defense, more than when they look for him. They don't look for him as much as in the zones, because, Chase is the one that usually moves in and out to get the best matchup in the zones from slot to wide out, but in just a man matchup, we already been seeing Tennessee just been getting ate up out wide, I think it's like the left side. So all they got to do is move Higgins over there, and put Chase maybe in the slot, and they both can eat in this game. So definitely it's all about just Burrow getting time in the pocket for this game. And that's basically the two I see really hitting for this game here with Burrow. Besides that, we got this Raiders and Chargers game. Waiting to see, man, is Garoppolo. What's going on? Let's see. Is anything new? So limited at practice. So hopefully tomorrow, Garoppolo's yet to clear. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow he does clear. Because they said it was seeming like he was on track to clear. Wow, Eckler is doubtful now. Didn't know that. Yeah. So let's see what we got here. It looks like Jacobs is going to be a really good play, and also, who else do I want to say is going to be a good play here? We got Jacobs, Adams. I like Myers too, though, because of the fact that he keeps getting good targets. Like every game that he's played, like it's high targets, man. And long as Garoppolo is able to play again, I love what we saw from him that last game, man, because this little, amount of throwing was not going to get it done. Shockingly, we saw a 40 attempts from him. Like, was not expecting that. So good to see that. But yeah, so besides that, this team plays a lot of 21. So it's usually just two wide receivers, two backs. They're not really using their tight end other than just to block. So, if they're going to compete and stay in this game, it's going to come through these three options, with Garoppolo. And we know that, they're playing the Chargers, so they're going to need to score some points here to be able to win. I'm really just wondering, for some weird reason, are the Chargers going to sit out a healthy and active J.C. Jackson again? Because that's going to be really weird. If they end up doing that, I don't see why Devontae doesn't, kill them. Like, I just don't see, other than the fact that Garoppolo doesn't play or something. But from the other side of this game, Herbert is going to be throwing again. No Eckler. Like, I thought Eckler might play, but I had a feeling that he probably, would end up sitting out because I think they're on a bye the next week anyways. So that's probably why they end up sitting him out this game and ruling him out doubtful right now. But them not having Mike Williams just means a lot of targets going to Keenan Allen. Like I said, with no Eckler, they're going to run their offense through Keenan Allen. The best thing about it is that he lines up in the slot, so he doesn't have to even match up with any of the, best cornerbacks on the Raiders. But it really wasn't going to matter because the Raiders cornerbacks haven't been really that good. So far, I think the Raiders are running a lot of man defense still. Let me make sure. Are they doing more zone now? Yeah, they're still running a lot of man style defense. So Keenan Allen against man, he's pretty, pretty decent, man, doing that. I like Everett, definitely, because I think Everett's going to line out wide. They do that a lot. They'll line him out wide, and he'll go against a cornerback. He's able to play like a wide receiver. Besides that, Palmer is a good play still. He does better against zone style defenses though. So, I could see them trying to get a little bit more opportunities with Johnston. So I think he possibly could be in play for maybe he gets a touchdown. But if he doesn't, it's more than likely because Everett was out there lined up taking his spot. And they go to Everett instead and do some little screen plays with Everett. I can see them definitely leaning on Everett a lot just because he's been a part of the system for a minute too. And this is still a rookie, Johnston, and they haven't really gave him enough opportunities for him to, I feel like, succeed, the way they need him now to do. But I do see him getting some opportunities in this game, but more probably be a Palmer because he's been a part of the system as well as Everett, and then of course heavily Keenan Allen here. Moving on from this though, we got two more games here. We got Dallas and New England. This game feels like a battle of who gonna be able to run the best. That's how I look at this game because I feel like both defenses are really strong, and at least New England's not going to want to make mistakes. So I don't really see them trying to, throw a lot. I feel like it's going to be a lot of dumps to, Stevenson, and then Elliott getting some runs. When it comes to throwing, I think Bourne probably has the best opportunity, but this team runs a lot of 12. So they will be doing a lot of Gesicki and Henry and stuff like that. Henry has been getting, you can tell he's part of the offense like every week. So 6, 7, 5, Gesicki, I believe, is right there, besides the last game, 3, 6, they're running a lot of 12. So their tight ends are going to be in play. Also, they're in because they're blocking for the run. This game is just going to, like I'm saying, like whatever team, most disciplined team running to set up maybe a big pass play to Bourne or something like that, or a big pass play to one of those tight ends. That's what they're going to do. It's the same thing over here for Dallas, though. Like, you can take Dak, of course, but they're over here, they're trying to run with Pollard, to hopefully set up CeeDee Lamb deep down the field, or maybe a Brandon Cooks. Last week it was Gallup. They are playing a mixture of a man-style defense that tries to put a little bit of zone. But when you play man, that CeeDee Lamb usually eats, against man-style defenses. And the fact that he doesn't have to line up with none of the best cornerbacks for New England because he's in the slot. It's going to be a little bit difficult, to just double him in that slot area. If they do double him, then he's going to, Dak's going to have to look for a Gallup or also a Brandon Cooks, to be able to hit. And Gallup, since he's only 3,700, I would probably take shots there. They also love to go to their tight end Ferguson, so you can also see that happening. But like I said, it's gonna be whichever team is able to establish this run the best. Moving on, man. We got Arizona and San Francisco, another rivalry game here to end this whole slate. Looks like, Dobbs has been playing very well. I think, it all, slows down in this game. I just feel like, San Francisco is probably going to bring it. They've seen enough, of the film of what Arizona's been able to do. But what Arizona is doing so far is going to James Conner, going to Ertz. And from dumping it or running a lot with Connor and getting the ball to Ertz a lot, as much as possible, they open up some of these receivers. I'm thinking the Wilson kid is probably the best play here over Marquise Brown. He's already questionable anyways. Rondale Moore in the slot. Rondale Moore in the slot. He's a cool play too at 3,300 because he has the speed. But they've been going to this Wilson kid a lot, man. And I feel like he'll have, for big plays, like the yards is pretty high. Like I can see him hitting for something, decent there. But like I said, I really think San Francisco is going to come out and try to put them away. But Arizona could have something up their sleeve. They keep doing it randomly, But Purdy should be in for a good game, man. McCaffrey, they're going to be able to establish the run over here. They play a lot of 21, so that way they always in great run spots. Ayuk is healthy. I believe, let me make sure. Arizona, they're playing a lot of zone, which doesn't really benefit Ayuk as much. It would have benefited Debo, but he is questionable. I wonder if he ends up even playing. If he doesn't play, though, I already mentioned this before because Jennings is already out. So, yeah, they're going to go to Ayuk for sure. If Debo is out, they're going to take shots. But it's going to be a big Kittle day. That's what it's going to be, man. If Debo somehow gets ruled out and, we already got one other receivers out, Kittle is going to have a huge day, man. If Devo plays, then definitely it's a game. It should be a game for Samuel, but he could also be out there, as a decoy, and they can still use a lot of Kittles, So I would look out for these, plays here if you're trying to do a Purdy stack. But that's about it, man. So let's get into my final thoughts, man, of this slate. Real quick. Oh, yeah, my bad. Real quick. I wanted to say this week, I feel like the double wide receiver stack is probably the best stacks this week. So if I had to say, let's see, I would think, Jefferson, and Addison. Where are you at, Addison? Oh, my bad. Scrolling too far down thing. Addison here at 57, could make it on the list there. Like top 5 here, we got Jefferson and Addison in. Besides them, we got, of course, Tyreek Hill. Got to put them in here. Number 4, then, Tyreek Hill and Waddle could be a good double stack wide receivers. Besides them, I'm looking at where we? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Devontae Adams, if like I said, like long as we can get who is it? I'm missing right now. I'm thinking about Garoppolo. Garoppolo got to play for this though. So then it would be Devontae Adams and Myers. Definitely can see them doing well against them, against the Chargers. They're giving up crazy points anyways to wide receivers, so it's definitely enough for 2 wide receivers to be able to hit. Besides that, number 2 here, I'm thinking Atwell and Nakua. So that would be my number 2, wide receiver stack there. And then the last one would definitely be Higgins. And, of course, Chase, man, at number 1 this week. But I definitely feel like a double wide receiver stack could definitely be one of the best ways to go this week. It could definitely hit. So, let's see, though. Building a lineup here, though. My final look lineup, what I'm thinking now. Because I think the first look I thought about Herbert was the play. But thinking. The only I think I want to try Stafford here. I know I could go up with one of these other. Matter of fact, no, I'm going with Burrow, man. I'm going with Burrow. I feel like he has 2 wide receivers that one's definitely got to hit for him. So definitely, I'm probably going there. I think once again though, I'm going McCaffrey or I'm thinking Jacobs. And you know what? I probably might go Jacobs right now. Might go Jacobs for now. Maybe I'll get McCaffrey. Have enough money to get McCaffrey later. And then I'm going with Pierce. Since Jacobs, they're not having what I want to say Eckler. It's probably more of a Jacobs than type of game if the Raiders can just get down there into scoring. And also, breaking big runs against the Chargers happens a lot. So I can definitely see Jacobs doing that. They play a heavy set personnel. Same thing for Pierce. They play a heavy set personnel going against a team that's giving up the run too. Now we are looking at, let's see. I'm gonna probably go with Higgins for this, just for this. It's a tournament. I can see a lot of people not wanting Higgins. Chase just came off a really good game, so everybody's probably gonna be on Chase. Not that I don't think he can hit. I just think Higgins has been getting mad opportunities, and against man style defenses, he usually does well. Baltimore was a man style defense, and he did really good. So maybe he can do it again. In this game, I like the amount of targets he's getting. Also, that allows me to have some type of savings here. I think I am going with Thielen against Minnesota. I feel like he should be able to do very well against them. Let me see. Do I want to get my tight end real quick? I'm trying to think. Do I want to run back? Yeah, I might want to run back that game for the Burrow game here and just take a Kongwu here. Let's see. So then we have, I wonder if I can get to enough, man. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. If I take my defense, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the Browns to take some savings here. I'm hopeful, man, at my flex here. Can I get enough for McCaffrey? Let's see. We take McCaffrey. We got 4,900. Man. 4,900 receiver here. Let's see what we got. Might be able to take somebody cheaper. Let's see who's down here. Cause if I take like Shaheed, which I don't mind taking Shaheed, I can pay up for my defense instead of having the Browns. Let's see what options we got now. We got the Saints against Baker. Saints against Baker, Bucks against maybe Jamie. Don't really mind either one of those, but the Saints are at home and they usually play the Tampa Bay Bucks very freaking hard. Give them the hardest time. So, you know what? I probably would go with something like that then. That way, I got Shaheed and the Saints stacked there too, defense. So I like that. Got the run back with the Burrow, with the Higgins and everything too there. Besides that, I think I'm kind of nobody else. But having at least Jacobs, two good running backs late for this slate here. And I'm a part of some really good games there too late. So yeah, really like this, man, for a tournament play, man. I can see this winning some good money. It's your boy J Star, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this, man. Hopefully it helps y'all win some big money. And I'm out. Peace, y'all.